What's up? I'm Andrew from the band Rip to Shreds, and today I'm joined by...
I'm Michael Chavez from Rip to Shreds and Hemotoxin.
Today we're going to talk about...
Texas thrash.
Texas thrash. Why Texas thrash? Why not like a Bay Area thrash? Eastern European thrash?
I've been born and raised in the Bay Area, and a lot of my life I was told how legendary it is. And it is. Exodus, Forbidden, Violence, Testament. As a kid, I was always curious about where else was this music happening. I first found Gammacide, first Texas thrash band I ever heard in my life. And it just had a sloppier quality to it, a more raw, just...
Yeah. Isn't Exodus like super fucking sloppy?
Maybe back then they would be considered sloppy, but I think Gammacide is just a little more on the chaotic side. Those like bands, if you know, you know.
That's already pretty much like into endless pain territory for me.
Right, yeah, with all the chromaticism and the sort of up and down riffing and the open E stuff, definitely.
What do you think separates that from like death metal though? They're not as down-tuned as like the early death metal bands for sure.
It's, yeah, definitely not as down-tuned, but I'd say it's just as fast. If you listen to like early Morbid Angel, very first like
Kingdom Come,
Kingdom Come, there's a lot of that chromaticism, but also just like the open E, just riffing type of stuff. And I think the early 80s, less incentive to like play real melodies, things that are like singable and just going straight balls to the wall. And whether or not that was considered like death metal or thrash metal or brutal thrash, I don't think that was as much paid attention to as we're just going to play, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way up the neck.
So that whole first bit there is like built on stacking tritones, right?
Essentially, yeah. Stacking the tritones, making it sound nice and evil and just speed.
What year did this one come out again?
1989. Yeah, 1989.
Okay, so Hell Awaits and Brain and Blood are already out by this point.
Right. I think South of Heaven too. So yeah, it was definitely well into the, you know, thrash, you know, when it was very...
I mean, that's kind of like already where thrash is starting to end. Who do we have next?
Guitar player in Gammacide is also in Rotting Corpse.
Rotting Corpse, no relation to Ripping Corpse, right?
No, yeah. I mean,
Ripping Corpse fucking sucks anyways.
You could probably...
We have too many friends who are into Ripping Corpse, but man, I don't get that band.
Yeah, I mean, Ripping Corpse is cool, but to me, like, I found Rotting Corpse around the same time as Gammacide when I was like 16 years old. I just remember hearing the 1990 demo and like, it was sort of like my same like reaction to hearing Sarcophago, INRI the first time. It's just like, who could even play like this? The song Neck-Breaking Fury is literally like a blueprint to what I think Texas thrash is really all about. Whether it's Texas, wherever the fuck you're from, there's got to be like 80% fast shit and like 20% slow shit. That's sort of the ratio that Rotting Corpse has, especially in the groove era when more thrash bands started to do the more like groovy ex-Hoarders stuff. A lot of them started to abandon the thrash beat.
That's definitely when thrash started to really suck.
Yeah,
when they stopped playing the fucking skank beat.
I mean, to me, like, that's what thrash is the skank beat. Basically building you up to that part where, like, you know, kids are in the pit, like, hungry for it. And
the hammer-on's a minor second, or?
Yeah, it's a minor second. Okay. There's no intricacy. It's just open E and then those minor second pull-off things going on.
Do you think that's also like a precursor to metallic hardcore? Like bands like Madball or 25 to Life or that kind of thing.
I don't know what those guys are listening to, but like to me, that's what I hear in a lot of that stuff. Like
Texas Devastation, I think of like death thrash.
Sure.
Like really primordial, almost death metal type shit. The Idolatory, that came out relatively late, right?
that was 91.
91.
Yeah, so
but they
it's
had
definitely,
demos back in like
87 or 88, something like that. Yeah, Devastation had been putting stuff out like well before Idolatry dropped.
What was the tape trading scene like for thrash bands back then? Obviously, you know, it was very strong for death metal and early extreme metal.
Yeah, I don't know if there was like a specific like, oh, these guys were all listening to Testament when they were Legacy or something. Like, I don't know if that's how exactly it went. You hear a lot of different stories, like the one I've told you about, like Dave from Insanity,
right,
where he was tape trading with Scott from Repulsion. They were tape trading together.
So this is from the only era of Pantera that is worth listening to. I'm pretty sure this is like a scientific fact, bro.
Nobody knows about it. Like power metal barely even got like a mainstream release when it first came out. I think it was on like a super like independent label.
Strictly speaking, this is barely like a thrash record, right? This sounds almost identical to like Liege Lord or like Jagdpanzer.
It's definitely more speed metal, but I think there's a quality to it that, you know, has relevance in the thrash.
Which band's sound did he steal for Cowboys? Porter is part of it for sure, I think.
I think that's where I'm on the other side of it, because Ex-Hoarder, Rotting Corpse, like Pantera, all these bands, their vocals damn near sound the same. It's not necessarily Pantera was listening to that Ex-Hoarder. Like, I think it was more so a result of just what was happening at the time. I will die on the hill that Pantera did not rip off Ex-Hoarder. I think it was just a result of the scene at the time. And
it's kind of funny when Mustaine claims that Pantera ripped him off. Which is like
bad look, terrible look. Dave Mustaine is the king of making himself look like shit in the press.
Right. So Watchtower is one of those if you know, you know kind of bands.
Yeah, you really know.
Did they ever actually have any kind of commercial success?
I don't think so. Watchtower is definitely always an underground act. Their most popular album, I don't even think got released on like a major label. Control and Resistance. Like even later on, like that was on Prosthetic, I think. So they've never been released on like a gigantic label.
Walk me through that ridiculous fucking riff, man.
It's all in A. I don't know the names of notes, but it's a 9th fret on the D string, and it's like a power chord shape, and it's just all writing on the A string.
Is that just straight winner all the way through? Or?
I believe so. I think it's just like a... something like that. It's hard to play slow.
Is Watchtower still playing shows?
Yeah, they just made a comeback last year, and I'm really sad that like they've never come to California. But yeah, they've been playing all over the place.
Oh, that was with SA Slayer at Hell's Heroes?
They did the Hell's Heroes, and then they did like a Chicago thing, because when we played at Reggie's, I saw the fucking flyer right outside the venue, and I was pissed because it was a week after. And they've just did a couple other shows in Texas too, so they're definitely like on a comeback. And I really pray that somebody from California, more specifically the Bay Area, books them and flies them out here so I can fucking see them finally.
I think Watchtower is seen as a very techie band.
Very. Yeah.
And mainly because of Ron Jarzenbeck, who has his, he's got like a spastic ink.
Right.
Is Blotted Science his
Blotted
him or his brother?
That's him and Hannes Grossman, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And fucking Alex Webster, right?
Right, and Alex Webster, yeah. They all do Blotted Science. And then he has his own, like, he has a bunch of different projects. But I know, like, Watchtower is, like, one of his many, because there was somebody actually before him in Watchtower. But as far as this riff goes, as far as I understand it, he wrote, Instruments of Random Murder.
Okay, 1987. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Because, like, I strongly associate Jarzenbeck with his serial concept, his tone road concept. So it's interesting to hear Jarzenbeck write something that's way more conventional than what he's famous for.
Energetic Disassembly was all performed by another guy, and then he left, and then Ron kind of came in to fill issues. Okay. So I think it was more like he was applying his skill to the band. So
McMaster, I guess, is more of the star of that band.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of like a Jack Panzer, right? Where, Mark Briotti, he's the original songwriter. I mean, he never actually left the band. He was through all the incarnations. But like the star, right? The star is the Tyrant.
Sure, exactly. And I think Jason McMaster definitely fit that for Watchtower.
Okay. That's all we have for today. You can catch us Saturday in Taipei. Sunday we'll be in Kaohsiung, and then we're going to fly to Japan, Yokohama, Nagoya, Osaka, Kyoto, and we will be ending our run at Asakusa Death Fest.
2 nights, 2 sets. It's going to be fucking sick.
Eat ass.
Blast fast.
Peace.